Guys, welcome to UFGRAPHICS live streaming section. I don't know if you're seeing us for the first time, this UFGRAPHICS, and in all our live streaming sections we teach about students and how students can really relate, how and things they should start knowing when they are in the university, when they are out, and when they are still like it covers all aspects of student life. So if you've been with us, if you've been following our streaming sections, you should get a kind of a brief knowledge of what I'm trying to communicate here. All right, so this is web graphics in case of if you're streaming for the first time. And as I just said, most of our live streaming sections, our goal is just to teach students to open their eyes, not more like putting fear in them, but to open their eyes, just more like an eye opening of students, like for them things that is, or the necessary things that is important, and the things they should start doing at every given time or stage. All right, so let me just quickly brief our live streaming section last well, the last streaming session we had was okay. I think that is depending on certificate as a student is very risky. Depending on certificate as a student is very risky. That was our last live streaming session if I'm not mistaken, and we said a lot of things there why students shouldn't depend only on their certificate. And I think we mentioned stop, like we mentioned a lot of things why it's very risky, and the possible ways they should start a kind of doing that, you get. So it's not, and we also made mention of, it's not a kind of trying to tell students that their certificate is not good, but depending it, like them depending it, them having this mindset that it's going to uh give me all I want in life, it's a wrong mindset, and they should stop, or a kind of stop keeping that mindset and try uh getting what we were talking about here by merging it with some things that we made mention of. Okay, you can actually go and watch that if you're actually a student. So but in today's lecture session, I think let's check our topic. Okay, our topic here is digital life and internet growth. In today's sorry okay in today's live streaming section, today is sixth if I'm not mistaken, in sixth live streaming section, our topic today is digital life and internet growth. And as I said earlier, most just like our tutorials, all we are doing here is for students, and our goal and primary goal is to make sure that students endure, and to reduce that saying that school is scam. So that's just our primary goal and our priority as well. So when it has to do with digital life and internet growth for a student, when it has to do with digital life and internet growth, at first you're going to be looking at digital life. If you say digital life, at first let's say digital, because if you're looking at it from the kind of how it's sounding so digital life. Okay, let's start with digital. Yeah, digital can be say, okay, if you were to just give a kind of a plain or definition of or digital, we can say digital is a kind of more like internet something. Digital, like it's just more like internet something, I don't know, but that just how I'm seeing it. It's just more like internet something. It's not, is not more like something you, I don't know, struggle to get, I don't know, kind of that. It's just digital, like more like internet, that has to do with internet when it comes to digital. Now digital life, now of course you know what is life. Now life is just the life you have, like you're living. If you're watching at me now, you have a life. Of course, that's it, that's just life. Now then, digital life and internet growth. Now if we're talking about internet growth in this sense, is internet growth is just like you being a person, maybe trying to do some things online, and then getting to draw people's attention to what you're doing. Okay, and this internet growth has a kind of plenty branches, and it relates to plenty things. So in this internet growth, one can actually do anything. It can be your brand, it can be your business, it can be what is it called, it can be content, it can be tutorial. So it has a lot. It can be motivational talks. So anything you're doing online and you're drawing people's attention to that, you're drawing or you're delivering value online, and people are interested in watching you or interacting or engaging whatever you're doing out in the internet. It's just like a kind of internet growth, like you actually growing there, and that's on internet. Actually, that's okay. So that's for that. So we just what we just did now, we just try a kind of paraphrasing, or let's say the surface of our student life and internet group. We just try explaining it in primary, like in a plain this in a plain ground. Let me just in a plain ground. So at first, this internet growth, let's say internet growth at first is uh uh internet growth is what students, like let's say students should always a kind of get themselves engaged, because it's not like we are in a kind of era that most things is being done by computer, and most things is being done by technology. So you're not expected as a student to be a kind of outdated or still have, or let's say olden days mentality, or let's say olden days, or I don't know, just something of that nature, that you're not updated, like you're not coping, you're not, or a kind of fixing yourself in or the current trend, a kind of like, let's just say the current trend is just like trend, something that is trending, or this is a kind of internet, like what people are going for now. So if you're not a kind of engaging yourself to that, it's just like when you're lacking behind, when you're missing out in something. So that can be seen as a kind of, maybe if they should look at you, they will be like maybe you are outdated, the kind of that. So there is a lot of emphasis that students should start engaging in internet, even if it's not growth internet. At least there is plenty of things you can do on the internet, and as well, internet has good and bad side, but our emphasis are going to positive, like, because all we are talking about here is growth, growth, growth. So students being students, hi, hello, I'm seeing you, greetings, I don't know, somebody is saying hello, I don't know, I'm seeing you actually. You're welcome actually, you're welcome. So one back to what I'm saying, there is a lot of emphasis for students to start emulating, or let's say start getting engaged with internet and start doing things on it. And even if it's not growth, like even if it's not them growing on it, at least they should have some knowledge, and they should be opportune, or let's say they should have the ability to use it to produce something, because you can actually use internet to create value, like elsewhere, and not even necessary what's it called growth. Do you get it now? All right. So okay, I'm hearing you. You can drop your message. You can drop your message. Sorry, you can drop your message. Okay, so you can actually use it to create value. And in today's internet growth and student life, sorry, it's digital life and internet growth we are talking about is mainly for students, and we are able to a kind of list down stops, like things, or let's say a kind of guidelines that will power this internet growth and students, like power this internet life and student growth, like you need to power it after us listening it. So you're going to get the angle you're coming from, a kind of or the strong pillar that we're trying to lay here. Do you get it now? So stay sick and you can get your bio if you want, but I will try to be what's it called plain, like it's not going to be complex, like it's going to be an interactive. You're gonna get what I'm trying to communicate here. So you can actually pay attention if you don't have any shirts. My network is bad, sorry guys, my network. As I under digital life and internet growth. We have 5 kiddas. We kind of breached it to 5 kiddas, and these 5 kiddas, they are going to be looking at them, and we're going to be explaining them, or kind of serially, kind of that. So first we have here is how students can grow on YouTube, TikTok, and WhatsApp. Okay, at first, get our topic. Our topic is digital life and internet growth. And before we started, we explain what is digital. We explain life, being the life you're living. If you're watching at me, like you're looking at me currently now, you have a life. So that's life, digital life and internet growth. So that's our topic. And under it, I said we have a kind of things that we prescribed down that powers this topic, internet or digital life and internet growth. So if you're a student, I urge you to maybe your writing material, because you're going to be explaining a lot, I promise you that. And if you're sticking here with us, or I promise you're not gonna be left behind. So I'm with you currently. We are going. Alright, so I said how students can grow on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Now, at first, when it comes to internet, and when it has to do with student growing, there is a lot of things there is a lot of things in ground, and they need to know a lot of things even before starting, to a kind of to keep them on the moving train, or let's say to still keep them on the track. Because there is one thing about internet that people are not seeing and people don't know. It's just like, if they see maybe somebody that is actually growing, now they will not think it's very very easy, and they can actually do it. Now when they take a kind of motivation, because it's just like motivation and discipline. Motivation, discipline beats motivation. That's just it. Now when you, let me just explain that. When you're motivated, you actually need to be disciplined to actually do that, because the motivation is just like more of heart something, like something you get, is a kind of feeling. Your is a word pierced into your mind, and it motivated you. Do you get it now? You have not started acting on it. You have not started a kind of mapping yourself, or let's say taking some narrow paths. That has to do with discipline. So if you're moving with motivation alone, now when that's fades away, like when it's no longer there to ginger you, you're going to be a kind of like you're going to just stop. That is one thing about motivation. And motivation without discipline is just like it's not always ending well. It's not always ending well. Motivation without discipline is not always ending well. So I said about internet actually. So okay, how students can grow, that is what we are on now. Now I said there is something about internet that many people don't know, and they are seeing it as an easy something. And when they take that or what's it called, like when they are motivated, like when they not take that, let's say, that joy, the motivation joy, and enter into it, is not going to be they're not going to be seeing it uh as like the way they pictured it before. Now it's going to kill their morale, and most of them are going to drop. So this is very very harm, and it causes more harm than good. So when it comes to internet, to students now, any student that wants to grow on internet should understand something. There is something about growing on internet. Now at first, if you're planning, or you have the mind, or you have a mindset, or you're already on the internet and your aim is to grow, you have to understand three things. You have to understand three things, and that three things is that you being on the internet, you must be creating. One is that the one vital something that is that you must create value, and that value now has children. The value has children. Let me explain. The value has children in the sense of that value. One is that the first child is, you must, okay, one is value, and that value, as I said, has children, and the children can be uh you must solve a problem. That's or value is the first thing. Actually solving a problem is actually value. So value, as I said, is interrelated, but or is a kind of the children. You get it now? So it must be solving a problem. Now whatever you're going to be doing on the internet is going to be solving a problem. Solving a problem. Now it must entertain. If it's not solving a problem, that means you're entertaining people, like comedy or a kind of entertainment stuff like that. So if it's not solving a problem, it's going to be entertaining. Now if it's not entertaining people, the third is education. Like it's going to be educating people. Now this is the three things you need to know if you're a student and you're planning to, or a kind of kickstart a kind of internet growth or anything on the internet, and your aim, or let's say your objective is to grow. You're going to understand you cannot grow without delivering value, and under that value you're going to be solving a problem, entertaining or educating people on internet. I don't know what I'm saying here. Is all, like, it can actually work in all platforms. So the platform doesn't matter here, but or what I'm saying here works for all of them. So if you're a student and you're considering growing, anything you're doing is going to either entertaining people or a kind of teach them about something that they don't know, or a kind of deliver value just about around that or vicinity, like things up around it. So this is whatever you're going to be doing is going to be doing, dishing out to people on the internet. And this will now help you get that growth. Now that growth is going to help you get that great sense of the people that are going to be watching you, they are going to be coming because of that value. That first, they are going to be coming because of that value, and that value now maybe they want to learn that thing that you're teaching. If under education, maybe you're educating them about something kind of that. Now the second value is maybe they are depressed, or when whenever someone offends them, they'll just look for your comedy or your kicks, something like that. If you're an entertainment person, maybe a kind of that. Now they'll start watching, and maybe finally they'll get a kind of free up their mind, stuff like that. So that's for entertainment. Now solving a problem, maybe there's this particular thing that people are always looking for a way to figure out, a kind of that, and your videos are always teaching some things about that. Now when they are in need of stuff that such, they're actually going to look for you on the internet and maybe watch one two of your videos. Now have you seen you've actually solved a problem? Now this is what brings people to you. Do you get the angle I'm coming from? This is what brings people to you. So you're not just going to be out there wasting your time, or let's say doing irrelevant things that people are not people doesn't care about. That is going to limit your growth, and actually is going to really affect you, because you're seeing it as maybe one village people like that is disturbing you, or let's say they are working against you, or you just conclude that that's not actually your thing. This is just the mindset that will start coming, like doing this is not actually my thing, it's not my fit, like it doesn't work for me. You just end it like that. And moreover, you did not understand the primary things you should have the knowledge about even before getting started. So that's for that. That's when it comes to internet growth. Every student must have a primary knowledge of this before getting started, and actually this helps you to know where you fit in. Now imagine you actually want to start up anything, and you a kind of you're thinking, what can I do? Now it's a kind of you, because that's value at first. You're going to be delivering value, and you now you're to start. Now this helps you to a kind of figure what you can do best, and how it can relate to either to teach people, or to educate them, or a kind of to entertain them, or moreover to solve a problem for them. Now this is when what you can do now comes in. Now this is when what you can do now comes in, when it has to do with a kind of growth on the internet, because you're going to actually be delivering value. All right, so under that, okay, I just talked about internet growth. So and it's under number one, still number one, we have, okay, how students can grow on YouTube, TikTok and Instagram. So what we just talked about is let's say the primary aspect being the internet itself. Now if you're asked, or if you happen to ask, sorry guys, if you happen to ask, how can somebody actually grow on either TikTok, YouTube or Instagram? Answer is simple. Now, what can actually grow on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram? I will explain. Now, you can actually grow on TikTok by at first you're going to, now this is when you need to pay very very much attention, because this aspect is very critical and most people skip it, and they are not, they are always missing it. Now, to grow at first, you're actually going to be delivering value, as I said. Now, when we are relating it to platforms, social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, now this is when it has to do with one niche. I don't know, niche here is not a big deal. A niche is just, let me just kind of give a bit knowledge of it. A niche is normally known, like if you call niche now, is a kind of internet something. So the internet something that is called niche is so like it's just one, it's just something that one do on the internet. Now, under that you're solving problem, your niche can be a kind of that, and you're going to focus on that. Just like somebody that is doing tutorial video, his or her niche is under tutorial video making. Do you get it now? So that's just niche. And sorry guys, and that niche now is what you're doing, and you're going to focus on that. There is a lot of emphasis that students should focus on a particular niche. If you're trying to grow, at first you have choose, like you now know your audience, and now those people will keep on, what will keep them still watching your video, and what will bring others still watching, and what will still make them to refer you to others, is that one niche. That one niche I mean is that's one thing that you're going to keep on it. Like you're not going to be switching, you're not going to be diversificating, you're actually going to stick on it, like you're going to remain there. Just like you're doing entertainment, every day you're posting entertainment. You cannot start, or you cannot be an entertainment creator and you just suddenly you start posting maybe some drugs that cures teeth. Just imagine now, just take a look at, like it's not even in any way close to it. So now this will now make your audience that you have built already, they'll be like, what's this guy now? You're coming here to entertain, or you're coming here to watch tutorial videos, and now you're posting people that are making teeth, like people that are curing teeth. Now this gives your audience a kind of divide mind, like mindset. They are not, they are a kind of, they will start having kind of diverse mindset. And let me give another illustration. Another one is consistency, not showing up every day. Now this can actually destroy a creator's or motive, or let's just say a plan, or a kind of a platform. Now let me explain. Consistency is just like you opening your shop. Now if you want to take an internet or growth serious, or you want to be a serious creator, you're going to consider this, you're going to have this as as a kind of inbuilt in your mind. You're going to have this, that internet, or let's say your platform, that your platform that you're trying to build is a kind of shop. And do you know the funniest part of it? You must be opening it every day. That's just it. You must be opening it every day. Now, just take a look at, let me just give an illustration. Now, do you imagine, or can you imagine yourself owning a shop, physical? Now, let me bring it down. Let me just say it's a physical shop, and you're not always opening it, or let's just say at first you just opened the shop first week, like you just packed in there and you opened it first, second week, and you were getting like 5, 10 customers, a kind of that. Now when you shut that shop for a year, or let's say for 6 months without opening it, now let me shock you, even if you're getting 5 customers in a day, after that duration of shutdown or lockout of that business, or I'm talking about physical shop, I'm just giving an illustration with that. Now if you now happen to open it again, let me shock you, you may not be opportune to even sell up to, let me not say one, let me just say two people. You may not be able to sell up to two products that particular day you open it. Now the reason is not because your business is not, or is not being fetched, or people doesn't like it. The reason is because you're not being consistent. Now that changed their mindset, that changed their plans, or let's say maybe those 5, 10 of your customers has been coming and they have not been seeing you, you've not been opening. Now maybe they now look for, or let's say they now find another person that still gives them more than, or even the same thing that you're offering them. Now they're actually going to switch to that person. That's just facts. Like, because that person is consistent, like they are going to be going to that person's shop to buy, because this kills customers even when it comes to real life. And as well, just take this illustration I'm giving and check it with internet growth, because you're going to be consistent. Now when you're not consistent, when your audience comes, they are not seeing you often, they are not seeing you within a kind of weeks, they are not seeing, they're actually going to leave. Whatever, like, I don't know, they're actually going to give you, maybe look for another person, or they just change. That's just it. Now you have to compare your physical show. You're going to bring the mindset of opening a physical show with your internet growth. That's how you can grow, because you're actually going to be coming out, you're going to be showing up. You can address that, or you can refer that as opening your shop, opening your platform. Let's just open your platform. When it comes to internet, let's open your platform, showing up every day. Now every day with me here is actually things can happen, unforeseen circumstances can still happen, and one may not be able to maybe show up in a particular day, and that doesn't mean that you're going to lose your customer. It's just like when you fail to open your physical shop, maybe for a day or 2 days, that doesn't mean that all your customers are going to stop coming. But that's a kind of sometimes it happens. So but what we're saying here is essence is you're not going to, or allow it a kind of to be a kind of long, you get it now, so it's not going to be a kind of a long period of time without you being active, because a lot of people, like, it's going to be well noticed a kind of it's, or a kind of it's breached the now start seeing you as unserious person and all of that. So when it comes to internet growth, and when it comes to matter of students, you're actually going to be showing up every day like a physical shop, like how you would do when you own your physical shop. You're going to be showing up on the internet, and this helps you build trust. This helps you build a real, like they're going to be seeing you as a real person, not a bot, somebody that is consistent and a serious person at that, and actually somebody that one can actually trust. Now it's going to a kind of bring a kind of a strong audience to you when you're actually showing up every day. That's that. So if you're a student, I urge you, and if you're trying to build anything on the internet, at first, as I said, that value is the number one priority that you should have. And that under that value, the children is you're either solving a problem, you're either teaching, or you're either entertaining people, or entertaining your audience. So, and when it comes to that, you're going to be consistent. That's just the last thing I said there. You're going to be consistent, showing up every day, and try to, or a kind of build trust. That showing up every day, build trust, and build, or a kind of, I don't know, just that under that. So that's for that. And under, remember our topic is digital skills, sorry, that digital life and internet growth. So the first branch we have here is that how students can grow on TikTok, Instagram. And as I said, this thing can actually work on all social media platform, so you can actually apply it maybe in TikTok, Instagram, or anything. Once you're showing up every day, your audience are going to stick, and you're going to actually grow. That is it. Alright, so under digital life and internet growth, the second branch, or the second key that we have here is turning phone and laptop into opportunity. Internet is bad. Okay, turning phone and laptops into a golden, let me now add golden opportunity. Now you can actually do this by, one is that not everybody is a kind of access to have a, let me not say phone, because actually one can actually get a phone, let me just say laptop. And laptop I mean here is that most things now mobile phones can actually do, or works that laptops can do. It's just that it's limited, actually it's limited. There is something that you cannot do with your mobile phone that a laptop can actually do effectively. But what coming in this context, even if you don't have a laptop, you can actually turn that your smartphone to a kind of a good opportunity for you. Now let me tell this once, because I'm referring to students. So let them pay attention to this. Or laptop and phone, I mean, here turning to a kind of a golden opportunities. You're going to use that time, or let's say that data, all of those resources that you're wasting on the internet or you're using for something else, to a kind of convert it, or let's say a kind of bring it into a particular something. Now maybe you can, this something that I mean here is can be a kind of skill. You maybe you now venture all of this your energy and time, even resources, to learning a skill on the internet. And when you start doing this, it's going to, or you're going to actually be focused. And if you're able, or let's say if you're opportunity to own a laptop, now this is where it works well, because you're going to have a kind of, like, you're just going to be a kind of balance with that. Just like when you're learning a freelancing work. Now if you're actually doing a freelancing work with your phone, it's limited actually, but when you now get it involved with your laptop, it's you become more advanced. That's just what I'm trying to say. You become more advanced, you have more a kind of side, like you have more opportunities to a kind of be more equipped on it, or let's say get more knowledge, or let's say more advanced, being to a kind of more competent, let's just say being more competent on it. So that's for that. So turning your phone, your smartphone, off to a golden opportunity is by, as I said, you can switch those resources and energy that you're using it for, or maybe something that are not that relevant, to something that is much, or much more relevant, that can still maybe fetch you money in future time or nearest or future, stuff like that. So students are to minimize the time and energy they spend in unnecessary things, maybe them inventing it in a particular thing that yield fruit. And actually you can use it to learn a skill, as I said, or you can still or use it to maybe get more knowledge on your course. I don't know, that's just it. Maybe you can just get, or maybe an outside knowledge about something that you feel that you want, or even a new language. So these are ways that our phone or laptop can actually be a kind of a golden opportunity for students. And them actually doing this can still help them in their becoming. That's just the fact. It will help them in their becoming, and they will become something great. My God, so I'm just kidding. So under digital life and internet use, we have always said first one is how students can grow on TikTok, Instagram. We talked about that. Second is turning phone, laptop to a golden opportunity. We talked about that. Then the third one is personal branding and students. Okay, personal branding for students. Sorry guys, personal branding for students. Now this is very deep, and I'm going to dig it out, and you're going to you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. So let's start first. Firstly, okay, firstly we have a personal branding for students. Now let's say personal is you, your personal self, something that concerns you, something that relates to you, something that you have to do with yourself, that all relates to you. Personal branding is just like packaging, organizing something, making it look special or outstanding, stuff like that. Now personal branding and, okay, personal branding for students. Personal branding for students. Now for students, you should know what I mean by that. Students, okay, personal branding. Now if you're to add these words together, personal, you, brand and packaging for students, because that's why the reason is because you're talking about students. Now when it comes to personal branding by students, branding now in this context can mean anything. It can be your studies. That's just it. It can be your studies because it has to do with students, and it's personal, you, and it's branding. When it branding has to be packaging, now it can be anything. It's not restricted, or it's not limited to maybe products, because when we talk about branding, what comes to people's mind is products. So it's not limited to products. Now it can be anything around you as a student that you can actually package. It can be your studies, maybe your way of studies, or let's just see how you, or or map out, or scale out your schedule, or how you maybe how you're studying, how you when and time to study, stuff like that. So it can be that, it can be a kind of personal branding for you. So but what I'm trying to refer here as a personal branding, I mean in this context, is maybe you're a student and you're a business person. Now if you're a business person in school, you have a plenty of opportunities. You have more opportunity than somebody that is out, or somebody that has not entered. You have more opportunity because this branding here is, if when you brand your business, now let's talk about business now. Yes, like I said, it can actually release anything around you. It can be your studies, it can be your, I don't know, it's just around you. In this context, you're talking about business. If you're a person, if you're a student, and when I mean by personal branding here, I mean business. And that business, if you, when you're still in school, and this is a personal brand, as I said, it's just something that use money, maybe a business that you, a kind of flexible business that you can be merging up or combining with your studies, that is not going to be taking more of your time, or let's say making you not being able to a kind of meet up in some certain things when it comes to your academy. So it's going to be more like flexible, something that you can just do or go on easily with. So packaging it in this context you're saying here is maybe fixing, or bring, or let's say just say having a unique name for that. Unique name can be okay, and that is advisable that any business, like getting a simple name is very very easy, and this simple name helps people to remember it quick. Even when they are to search it, it will be easy to search, and even when they are to refer people to or you, it's gonna be easy to remember stuff like that. So you having a simple name as a business name is very 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 okay, and it gives you like 20% of a successful business, or let's say 20% of you actually growing on that.